An exhausted man in a hospital corridor, a CEO in a coma in bed 7. A powerful family arriving like they own everything. What Ryan discovered in that icy ICU silence wasn't just a late-night visit. It was a calculated plan to erase any proof she was waking up on the inside. A plan that would have worked if one thing hadn't happened: a nearly invisible hand squeeze. This is the story of how staying 20 more minutes changed 3 lives forever. The IQ smells like antiseptic and crushed hope. Ryan Parker sits in the dark beside bed 7, holding a hand that doesn't squeeze back. The ventilator hisses. The monitors beep in rhythm with a heart that beats but doesn't wake. Victoria Waverly, Tori, though she'd never let anyone call her that at work, lies pale and still beneath white sheets, her CEO armor replaced by a hospital gown. He's been here every night for 11 days. If you believe showing up is love, especially when no one else does, hit the like button right now. And if you're new here, subscribe for emotional stories where family, fear, and hope collide. 11 nights of fluorescent lights and hushed codes. 11 nights of watching her chest rise and fall to the rhythm of a machine. Ryan leans forward, elbows on his knees, her cold fingers pressed between his palms. His ribs scream, 3 fractures, the doctor said, but he stopped taking the pills because they make him slow, foggy. He needs to be sharp, needs to be here. His voice cracks when he speaks. I don't know if you can hear me. The doctors say maybe, maybe not. He swallows hard. But I need to say this. Just once. The room holds its breath. I love you, Tori. I've loved you for 3 years. Every coffee I made exactly how you like it. Every schedule I memorized. Every time I saw you rub your left temple when the board pushed back, I saw you. Not the CEO. You. His thumb traces her knuckles, and he remembers. 6 months ago, the Dennison merger almost collapsed because their legal team found a clause Waverly's board missed. The CFO blamed Ryan in front of everyone, said he'd filed the wrong documents. Tori stood up mid-meeting, ice in her voice. Ryan Parker is the only reason this company runs on time. If you have a problem with his work, you're questioning my judgment. Are you questioning my judgment, Michael? The CFO never said another word. Ryan never forgot. I know you built walls. I know why. But you were never alone. Not really. So please, his voice breaks. Please don't die. The monitor beeps. The ventilator hisses. Then, something. A flutter on the screen. The oxygen saturation dips 0.5%, then rises. The heart rate ticks up 3 beats. Ryan's breath catches, but a nurse passing by doesn't even glance at the monitor. Coincidence, maybe. But deep inside the darkness where Victoria Waverly floats between worlds, something hears. And holds on. How many people spend their whole lives building walls to keep pain out, only to trap themselves inside? 6:14 a.m. The alarm clock screams. Ryan's hand slaps it silent before the second beep. He's already awake, has been since 5:30, staring at the ceiling of the small bedroom in their small house on the south side of Chicago. The same house where Claire died. The same bed. Different emptiness. He pulls on yesterday's jeans and walks barefoot across hardwood that creaks in all the familiar places, 3rd board from the bathroom, 5th from the kitchen, the spot near Lily's door that sounds like a sigh. The kitchen is cold. January cold. He cranks the thermostat to 68 and starts the coffee maker. The one Claire picked out 6 years ago, the one with the cracked carafe that still works if you're careful. He cracks 3 eggs into the same blue bowl they used for Sunday. Pancakes back when Sundays meant something other than laundry and meal prep. The medical bills are stacked on the counter. $2,100 from the oncologist. $847 from radiology. The rest keeps coming, $50 a month, forever. The house needs a new water heater. Lily needs new shoes. The car needs an oil change. Ryan cracks the eggs harder than he means to. 7:02. Lily's door opens. She shuffles out in mismatched socks, one with stripes, one with polka dots, clutching Moon, her gray stuffed rabbit with one ear shorter than the other. Her hair is a nest of tangles. Her eyes are puffy with sleep. "Morning, Bug," Ryan says softly. "Morning, Daddy." She climbs into her chair, yawning. Moon sits in the chair beside her, propped against the table like a guest. "Daddy?" "Yeah, Bug." "Why doesn't Mommy come to breakfast anymore?" Ryan's hands stop. The spatula hovers over the pan. He's explained this 14 times. 14 careful, age-appropriate explanations about sickness and heaven, and Mommy's not in pain anymore. But Lily is 7, and 7-year-olds forget. Or they remember and ask again anyway, hoping the answer will change. Because Mommy got very sick, remember? And her body stopped working. "But she loved you so much." Lily nods slowly, picking at the edge of Moon's shorter ear. "Does she still love me now?" Ryan's throat closes. "Always, Bug, always." He makes her eat toast with peanut butter cut into triangles because she won't eat squares. Orange juice in the pink cup, not the blue. A vitamin shaped like a bear. The routine is armor. The routine keeps them standing. Claire's cancer took 18 months, from diagnosis to grave, from hope to hospice. The promise Ryan made took 30 seconds, whispered into her hair the night before she died. "I'll hold the house. I'll keep her safe." One day at a time. He's kept it for 4 years. Some days he doesn't know how. At 7:58, he drops Lily at Bridgeport Elementary. She kisses his cheek and runs toward the doors, Moon tucked under her arm. At 8:47, he walks into Waverly Capital Properties on the 40th floor of a glass tower on West Wacker and becomes invisible again. But invisible doesn't mean he doesn't see everything. Today's the day he meets Victoria Waverly for the first time. Today's the day everything starts. Victoria Waverly's office spans the northeast corner, floor-to-ceiling glass overlooking Lake Michigan like she owns the water too. Ryan's first day. He's 20 minutes early, wearing the one good suit he owns, the one from Claire's funeral, dry cleaned and pressed. His predecessor, Diane, left instructions in a binder. Schedules, preferences, emergency contacts, and a note in red pen. Don't take it personally. She's not cold. She's careful. She arrives at 8:55. Always 8:55. Never 9 o'clock. Ryan is already there with her coffee, double espresso, 1 pump hazelnut. Exactly 160 degrees. Ceramic cup, not paper, because she hates the aftertaste. Diane's notes were specific. Victoria Waverly walks in without looking at him. Charcoal suit. Heels that click like punctuation. Hair pulled back so tight it could be armor. She takes the coffee, takes a sip, sets it down. "You're Ryan." "Yes, Ms. Waverly." "Don't call me ma'am." Ms. Waverly is fine. She sits, opens her laptop, scans her schedule. "You'll receive my calendar every morning at 7. I expect you to know it better than I do. I don't repeat myself. I don't tolerate mistakes. And I don't do small talk. Understood?" She looks at him for the first time. Her eyes are gray-blue, sharp as glass. "Good. That's it. That's the entire first conversation." Over the next 3 years, Ryan catalogs her like a language no one else speaks. She rubs her left temple when Grant, her brother, calls. She skips lunch on Tuesdays because that's when the board tries to ambush her. She keeps the thermostat at 68 degrees exactly, any warmer, and she says she can't think. Ryan doesn't just assist. He anticipates. It's a Thursday in June year 2 when everything almost falls apart. The quarterly board meeting. 2 p.m. Ryan set up the conference room, notebooks, water. The projector Tori prefers because the smart screen lags and she hates the delay. The CFO, Michael Renner, sits at the far end of the table. He's been gunning for Tori's job since before Ryan started. Beside him, 3 board members who smell blood. Tori presents the numbers. Revenue up 11%. Operating costs down 4%. 2 new acquisitions in tertiary markets. It's a flawless quarter. Renner clears his throat. There's a small issue with the Nashville property. Tori's eyes narrow. What issue? Permits. The environmental impact report was never filed. Metro's threatening to pull the entire project. Tori goes still. That report was filed in March. Actually, Renner says, sliding a folder across the table. It wasn't. I checked this morning. Metro has no record. The room shifts. Board members exchange glances. Tori's jaw tightens, but she doesn't speak. Ryan's heart pounds. He was the one who sent that report. Certified mail, tracking number, confirmation receipt. He has the documentation in his desk. He stands. Excuse me, Miss Waverly. Every head turns. Not now, Ryan, Tori says quietly. It'll just take a moment. He walks out before she can stop him, goes to his desk, pulls the Nashville file. 3 minutes later, he's back, laying printouts in front of Renner. Tracking receipt. Signed by Metro Zoning Department on March 14th at 10:32 a.m. Confirmation email. Follow-up call log from March 20th when they requested a second copy, which I sent the same day. Silence. Renner's face goes red. This doesn't. It does, Ryan says calmly. If Metro claims they don't have it, someone lost it on their end. Not ours. Tori picks up the documents, scans them, and sets them down with the faintest smile Ryan's ever seen on her face. Anything else, Michael? Renner says nothing. The meeting ends 10 minutes later. The board files out. Tori doesn't speak until the room is empty. Then she looks at Ryan and says, "Thank you." It's the first time she said it. Months pass. Ryan learns the cadences of her world. When the CFO tries to corner her after the 2 o'clock, Ryan intercepts with a schedule conflict and reschedules for next week. When her mother calls, he screens it to voicemail. When she works past 9 p.m., he orders Thai food from the place on Randolph. Pad see ew, no peanuts, extra lime, and leaves it outside her door with a napkin and chopsticks. She never says thank you, except once. It's 11:30 p.m. on a Thursday in March, year 3. Ryan is packing his bag when her door opens. Tori stands backlit by her desk lamp, exhausted, blazer gone, sleeves rolled to her elbows. There's a vulnerability in her posture he's never seen before. Shoulders slightly curved, like she's holding herself together by will. Ryan, he freezes. She never uses name. I don't say this enough. Her voice is quieter than he's ever heard. I don't know what I'd do without you. She closes the door before he can respond. He stands there for 5 full minutes, replaying the sentence, testing it for cracks, wondering if he imagined it. He didn't. That was the first time he realized he was in trouble. It's 10:17 p.m. on a Tuesday in September when everything shifts. Tori's driver calls in sick. Her car is in the shop. The building is empty except for security and Ryan, who's still at his desk filing the acquisition reports she'll need tomorrow for the Anderson pitch. She appears in his doorway, purse in hand, coat over her arm. I need a ride. Ryan blinks. Of course. His car is a 10-year-old Honda Civic with a car seat in the back and Cheerios ground into the floor mats. There's a juice box in the cup holder, a coloring book on the passenger seat. He apologizes twice while shoving everything into the back. Tori slides into the passenger seat without comment. But she sees it. He knows she sees it. The car seat. The mess. The real life he lives outside these walls. They drive north in silence for 4 blocks. Then she speaks. How old is your daughter? 7, Ryan says carefully. Lily. Does she ask about her mother? The question lands like a stone in still water. Sometimes, he says. Less now. She was 3 when Claire died. The memories fade. He doesn't say the hard part, that he's grateful and guilty in equal measure. Grateful Lily doesn't carry the weight of loss the way he does. Guilty that Claire is becoming a story instead of a person. Tori stares out the window at the city lights blurring past. "My father died when I was 9, she says. My mother said crying was weak. So I stopped." Ryan doesn't know what to say, so he listens. "She raised me to run the company, not to be happy, not to be soft. To win." Tori's reflection in the glass looks fragile, like something that might shatter if he looks directly at it. "I haven't spoken to her in 2 years. She still calls every Sunday. 10 a.m. exactly, like clockwork. Do you answer?" "No." Her phone buzzes. She glances at the screen, and Ryan sees the name Margaret Waverly. Tori declines the call and places the phone face down in her lap. The silence stretches. Ryan can hear her breathing. "Do you ever feel like you built your whole life around not needing anyone?" she whispers, "and then woke up one day and realized you succeeded?" Ryan's chest tightens. He wants to say yes. He wants to say he understands. He wants to reach across the center console and take her hand and tell her she's not as alone as she thinks. But before he can answer, headlights flood the car from the left. Bright, blinding, wrong. The truck runs the red light at Clark and Division doing 50. Ryan sees it half a second before impact. Flash of chrome. Blare of a horn. Tori's sharp inhale. Instinct moves faster than thought. He yanks the wheel hard right. The Civic swerves. Tires scream against asphalt. The truck clips the driver's side door with a sound like the world splitting open. Metal tearing, glass shattering, physics turning violent. The airbag detonates into Ryan's face, white powder. Chemical burn. The car spins once, twice, slamming into a light pole with a crunch that rattles his teeth. Then, silence. Ryan's ears ring. Blood runs warm down his temple. His left arm won't move. Shoulder dislocated, he'll learn later, along with 3 fractured ribs and a concussion. But he turns his head, vision blurring, and sees Tori slumped against the passenger window. A cut above her eyebrow, blood streaking down her face. Unconscious, but breathing. "Tori," he rasps. "Tori, wake up." She doesn't. He reaches for her, fingers stretching across the center console. His ribs scream. His vision doubles. He touches her wrist, feels her pulse, faint and fast. "Stay with me, please. Just stay with me." Sirens wail in the distance, growing closer. Ryan keeps talking, words slurring, because if he stops talking, maybe she'll stop breathing. "You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Just stay with me, Tori. Please." Red and blue lights flood the wreck. Voices shout. Hands pull at the doors. Ryan hears someone say, "Is she Victoria Waverly?" And then the world goes black. Tori doesn't wake up. Traumatic brain injury, subdural hematoma. Induced coma to reduce swelling. The doctors use words like wait and hope, and we'll know more in 72 hours. 72 hours becomes a week. A week becomes 2. Ryan fractures 3 ribs, dislocates his shoulder, and gets 18 stitches in his scalp. They release him after 2 days with prescriptions he can't afford and instructions to rest he ignores. He goes straight to her room. Bed 7, ICU. Visiting hours 10 to 8. He lives between those hours and midnight, days at her bedside, nights sneaking back after Lily sleeps, talking to a woman who can't answer. The nurses stop asking questions by day 4. One of them, Maria, mid-50s, kind eyes, brings him coffee on night 5. "You should go home," she says gently. "Get some sleep." "I will," Ryan lies. She's stable. "We'll call if anything changes." "I know." Maria sits in the chair beside him. "You family?" "No." "Boyfriend?" Ryan shakes his head. "I work for her." "Worked. I don't know anymore." "You're here more than her actual family." Ryan doesn't answer. There's nothing to say. Maria pats his shoulder and leaves him alone. On day 7, the hospital enforces the visiting hours. Ryan argues. They threaten to call security. He leaves. But he comes back after midnight, slipping past the desk when Maria's on shift. She sees him, says nothing, just points to room 7 and looks the other way. Ryan talks to Tori. He tells her about Lily's spelling test. She got a 92, missed 2 words, cried because she's a perfectionist just like someone else he knows. He tells her about the dishwasher that died and flooded the kitchen. He tells her about the voicemails piling up from Waverly Capital, people asking where she is, when she's coming back, whether the Anderson deal is still happening. I don't know what to tell them, he says quietly. I don't know what to tell anyone. On night 6, he brings something. Lily drew you a picture, he says, unfolding a piece of construction paper. She doesn't know your name. I told her you're someone important who got hurt. She calls you the Sleeping Princess. The drawing shows a woman in a bed, eyes closed, wearing a crown. There's a heart-shaped door in the corner and a sun in the sky. At the bottom, in wobbly letters, wake up soon. Ryan tapes it to the wall beside the bed, right next to the monitors. She made you a crown, he whispers. Lily believes if you draw a wish hard enough, it finds a way. I'm starting to think she's right. A doctor comes in on day 8 and tells Ryan they're considering reducing sedation in the next 48 hours. And if she doesn't wake up? Ryan asks. The doctor hesitates. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's not an answer, but it's all Ryan's going to get. Inside the dark, Tori hears every word. She can't move, can't speak, can't open her eyes. But she hears him. She hears him talk about his daughter, about the house, about the bills he's worried about. She hears him say her name like it's something precious. She hears the exhaustion in his voice, the fear he's hiding. And somewhere in the space between sleep and death, she holds on. Because someone is holding on to her. Margaret Waverly arrives on day 12 with her lawyer, her publicist, and her son. She's 72, silver-haired, and sharp as a scalpel. She wears Chanel and disapproval in equal measure. Grant is 41, handsome in the way expensive suits make mediocre men look important. He's a vice president at Waverly Capital in title only. Everyone knows Tori runs the company alone. Ryan is sitting beside Tori's bed when they walk in. Margaret's eyes land on him like he's a stain on expensive fabric. Who are you? Ryan stands, ribs protesting. Ryan Parker. I work for your daughter. Worked. Grant corrects, smooth and cold. Past tense. The board's putting her on medical leave. I'll be interim CEO. Of course he will. Margaret steps closer, examining Tori with clinical detachment, the way someone might inspect a broken appliance. We'll be handling her care from here. You're dismissed. Ryan doesn't move. I'm not leaving. Grant laughs, short, cruel. You're her assistant. You're nobody. You have no authority here. I'm the person who's been here every single night, Ryan says quietly. Where were you? Margaret's jaw tightens. You have no idea what you're talking about. I know she hasn't spoken to you in 2 years. I know she screens your calls every Sunday at 10 a.m. I know she told me once that you taught her love was weakness. The room goes cold. Grant steps forward, voice low and threatening. You need to be careful. You're not family. You're not listed as her emergency contact. Legally, you have no right to be here. Legally, neither do you if she doesn't want you here. She's unconscious, Margaret hisses. She doesn't get a choice. She made her choice 2 years ago when she stopped speaking to you. Margaret's face hardens into something cruel and ancient. Get out, or I'll have security remove you. And if you come back, I'll have HR investigate you for misconduct, harassment, and whatever else I can think of. Do you understand? Ryan looks at Tori, pale and still, and something breaks inside him. I showed up when no one else did, he says, voice steady. That's not nothing. He leaves before they can respond. But he comes back at 2 a.m. when they're gone, slipping past the nurses' station, past the new security protocols Margaret put in place. Maria sees him, shakes her head. They flagged your name. If they catch you, they won't. She hesitates, then steps aside. Room 7, 20 minutes. That's all I can give you. Ryan takes it. He sits beside Tori and takes her hand. I don't know if I can keep doing this, he whispers. They're going to lock me out, and I can't fight them. I don't have the money. I don't have the power. Her hand stays limp in his. But I need you to know, I'm not leaving because I want to. I'm leaving because they're making me. Silence. Please wake up, Tori. Please. Nothing changes. Ryan kisses her knuckles and walks out, thinking it's the last time he'll see her. He's wrong. It's 2:47 a.m. on day 14 when Ryan breaks. He shouldn't be here. Margaret threatened legal action. The hospital banned him. But Maria texted him an hour ago. They reduced sedation. Next 24 hours are critical. So he came. He's exhausted. Lily asked him this morning why he looked sad all the time, and he lied and said he wasn't. He snapped at her over spilled juice. He forgot to sign her permission slip for the field trip. He's failing at the one job that matters, being her father. And he's failing Tori too. He sits beside her bed, holding her hand, staring at Lily's drawing on the wall. The sleeping princess. The heart-shaped door. The crayon sun. I don't know if you can hear me, he whispers. But I can't do this anymore. I can't watch you disappear. His voice cracks. I lost Claire. I can't lose you too. I know that's selfish. I know I don't have the right to say that. But it's true. He takes a shaking breath. I loved my wife. I'll always love her. But she's gone. And you, his throat closes. You're here. You're real. And I don't know when it happened, but somewhere along the way, you became the person I couldn't stop thinking about. The monitors beep steadily. Unchanging. Please. Tori. Please don't die. Her hand twitches. Ryan freezes. It happens again. A squeeze. Faint but unmistakable. Tori? Her eyelids flutter. Once. Twice. Her lips part and a sound escapes, soft, broken, barely there. Ryan. He lunges for the call button, slamming it with his palm. Nurses flood the room within seconds. Doctors bark orders. Machines beat faster, louder. Someone shouts for Margaret and Grant. But Tori's eyes are open now, unfocused and glassy, searching the blur of faces around her. They find Ryan. She moves her lips. No sound comes out. She tries again. I heard, she whispers, voice raw and wrecked. I heard everything. Margaret and Grant arrive 20 minutes later, all performance and possession. Tori is sitting up slightly, oxygen tube in her nose, her voice still weak but gaining strength with every sentence. The doctors have already run preliminary tests, cognitive function intact, motor skills responsive, memory unclear but returning. It's a miracle, they said. Ryan stands in the corner, being invisible. Margaret sweeps into the room like she owns it. Victoria, thank God. Get out, Margaret stops. What? Both of you. Get out of my room. Grant steps forward, all smooth corporate charm. You don't know what you're saying. You've been unconscious for 2 weeks. You need rest. I was listening for 2 weeks, Tori says, her voice cutting through his like a blade. And I didn't hear either of you. Not once. Margaret's face hardens. We're your family. You're the people who taught me that needing anyone was failure, Tori says. Her hands shake, but her voice doesn't. That loving someone meant losing control. That being alone was safer than being hurt. She looks at Ryan standing in the corner, and something in her expression softens. He showed up, every single night. He talked to me. He brought drawings from a little girl who doesn't even know me. He told me I wasn't alone. Margaret's mouth opens, closes. You want to know what I remember? Tori's voice drops, and the room goes silent. I remember being 6 years old and crying because I missed my father. And you told me, tears are for weak people, Victoria. Waverlys are not weak. Margaret flinches. I remember being 16 and coming home after a boy broke my heart, and you said, good, now you've learned. Never give anyone that kind of power again. Grant shifts uncomfortably. I built walls my whole life because of you, Tori whispers. I built them so high and so thick that I forgot what it felt like to be seen, to be cared for, to matter to someone. Her eyes fill with tears. And I almost died inside them. She points to the door. Leave, both of you. And don't come back unless I ask you to. Margaret's face twists with fury. You're making a mistake. No, Tori says. I'm fixing one. They leave. Grant first, then Margaret, who pauses at the door like she might say something. She doesn't. When the room is quiet again, Tori looks at Ryan. You said you loved me. Ryan swallows. I did. Why? Because I saw you. The real you. Behind all the armor. Tori's eyes fill with tears that spill over. I don't know how to do this, she whispers. I don't know how to let someone in. I don't know how to be loved without waiting for it to hurt. Ryan crosses the room and sits beside her bed. One day at a time, he says softly. Just like everything else. She looks at him, really looks at him, and sees something she's never let herself see before. Safety. She takes his hand. This time, she squeezes back. I'm not going back to who I was, she says. I can't. I won't. Good, Ryan says. Because I didn't fall in love with the CEO. I fell in love with the woman who stays late because she cares, who remembers every detail, who's terrified of being hurt but shows up anyway. Tori closes her eyes, tears streaming down her face. One day at a time, she repeats. One day at a time. 6 months later. 6:14 a.m. The alarm doesn't go off because Ryan's already awake. But this time, he's not alone. Tori sleeps beside him in the small house on the south side, her face soft in the early light. She moved in 2 months ago, not because she had to, but because she wanted to. The penthouse on Lakeshore Drive sits empty now, a monument to a life she's left behind. She still goes to the office. But she leaves at 5:30. She delegated 60% of her responsibilities to people she trusts. She promoted Ryan to chief of staff, and he hired an assistant of his own, a sharp young woman named Kendra who reminds him of himself 3 years ago. Ryan slips out of bed quietly, pulls on jeans, walks across the creaking hardwood to the kitchen. He starts the coffee maker, cracks 3 eggs into the blue bowl. The bills on the counter are smaller now. Tori paid off Claire's medical debt without asking, and when Ryan tried to refuse, she said, "You gave me my life back. Let me give you yours." He's learning to let her. 7:02, Lily's door opens. She runs out with Moon tucked under one arm and launches herself at Tori, who appeared in the doorway wearing one of Ryan's old sweatshirts that is 3 sizes too big. "Morning, Tori." "Morning, little bug." Lily climbs into her chair, and Tori sits beside her, stealing a triangle of toast and a sip of orange juice from the pink cup. "We're going to the park today, right?" Lily asks. "Right," Tori says. "And then ice cream?" "If you eat your eggs." Lily grins and digs in. They eat breakfast together, easy and warm and ordinary in the way Tori never thought ordinary could feel like enough. Later, they walk to the park. Lily feeds ducks with stale bread, laughing when one of them chases her in circles. Tori holds Ryan's hand, and the weight of the city, the empire, the board, the expectations, feels 1,000 miles away. "I spent 40 years building an empire," she says quietly, watching Lily throw bread with wild enthusiasm. "But I never had this." "Had what?" "A home." Ryan pulls her closer and she leans into him. That afternoon, Tori goes to the office for 3 hours instead of 12. She comes home at 5:30 with Thai food, pad see ew, no peanuts, extra lime. and they eat it on the couch while Lily shows her the new drawing she made. It's the three of them, holding hands, standing in front of a house with a heart-shaped door. At 8 o'clock, they tuck Lily into bed. She makes them both promise to stay. They do. Later, when the house is dark and quiet, Tori whispers, "Do you think she heard me before I woke up?" "I think you heard what mattered," Ryan says. "And that's what saved you." Tori rests her head on his chest, listening to the steady beat of his heart. "I love you," she says. Simple, true. "I know," Ryan whispers. "I always knew." Outside, the city hums. Inside, the small house holds everything that matters. Sometimes the words we whisper in the dark are the ones that wake us up. Sometimes the person who saves you is the one who showed up when no one else did. And sometimes love isn't a fairy tale. It is a man who makes coffee at 6:14 a.m. and a woman who learns that needing someone isn't weakness. It's the bravest thing she's ever done. Before you go, drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. We love seeing how far these stories travel. And if this one hit you, tell me, what line would you whisper in the dark to someone you couldn't lose?